Let's see if we're up and running here. That's on. That's good. Okay, nieces and nephews. This is Tito Keith. Welcome back. We're gonna do a little bit different video. I've been wanting to do this video for quite a while for several reasons, and we will get into that here in just a few minutes. Let me let you know what we're gonna talk about. There's several. I'm actually, instead of looking, I'm gonna look at the camera a little bit, but I'm gonna look at my computer because I have so many notes. I've done so much research. I've tried to, because I want to make sure this has a lot of information in it. But as we go along, everyone, please comment down below. Give us your comments and let us know what you think, because some people will agree, some people will disagree, some people will have some different thoughts, ideas, whatever. We want to hear from everybody. Here's what we're gonna do. There's several male influencers on social media now that are talking about American men's issues, and it's a lot, and it's getting like more and more prominent. So we're gonna talk about that. Number one, that, and it's really interesting to me, but we used to consider that like locker talk, that men would talk about these things, locker room talk. They would talk about these things in the locker room, but men would not talk about them in public. So that's going to be some of what we talk about. That's 1, 2, 3. Is why so many American men are going overseas to date, like to find a girlfriend or a wife or whatever, because that's becoming more and more prominent. And on these social media websites, why so many people are getting mad about that. Then we're going to talk about what's called SMV, sexual marketplace value. And that's not a bad word when we say sexual marketplace value. What that says basically is rating yourself, whether you're a man or a woman, rating yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Are you a 3? Are you an 8? Are you a 6? We're going to talk about that just a little bit. What else do I have here? Then we're going to talk about the 5 things that American men are looking for in a woman. I'm going to say that again because that's going to be actually an important part. The 5 things that American men are looking for in an American woman. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off and give credit where credit is due. The first person, Kevin Samuels. I don't know how many people, a lot of people in the black community know Kevin Samuels. He actually just died a few months ago. He was very prominent, very smart guy. He did a lot of relationship, dating, advice, image. He actually called himself an image and dating consultant. But he did a lot of that in the black community. He said, Kevin Samuel said that he focused on the black community, but there's so much of what he said. He was just so, he was so rounded that a lot of stuff that he said applied to Americans in the white community, Hispanic community, Asian community in America, not just among black folks. But he said he focused primarily on the black community. He had a lot of people did not like him because they said he was hyper masculine. They said his ideas and his thoughts were outdated. That's from like 200 years ago, but whatever. The next one, Jordan Peterson, and a lot of people will know Jordan Peterson. He's a clinical psychologist, and he actually gained notoriety a few years ago because they did something in Canada. I can't remember if they just introduced a bill. I think they passed the bill saying that you have to use the pronouns that people want you to use. So if I'm a man and I want to be called a woman, you have to call me a woman. Otherwise, you will get arrested. You will go to jail. And And he was very outspoken about that. Another one's going to be Andrew Tate. A lot of the young men watching this know who Andrew Tate is. He was born in America, but I think he was raised in UK or Central Europe, but now he lives in Eastern Europe. Now I think he's 35, 36 years old. He's a 4-time world champion kickboxing champion. Very, very outspoken. And very recently, I think about 6 months ago, he was kicked off of Twitter and Facebook and a lot of social media because like Kevin Samuels, they said he was hyper masculine. He hated women. Well, no, he didn't. He was just talking about modern day men things. So interesting. The last one is Jesse Lee Peterson. He's a black preacher and he's a radio host. He has his own podcast, and a lot of people do not like him because he's very conservative. And he's very hard on young people and marriage and relationships and how relationships are supposed to go. Another one we're going to add in there is if you go on YouTube and look for The Black Filipino. That's it, The Black Filipino. It's a black American guy who lives in the Philippines now, and he talks about relationships between American men and Filipino women and why American men are leaving America and going to the Philippines. He still has his YouTube vlog channel called The Black Filipino, but now he has a new one that's called More to Life, where he's really, really focusing on what he calls passport bros, and we'll get into that later. Let's start with this. Kevin Samuels makes this great point that for decades and decades and decades, women have had a lot of platforms to talk about women's issues, right? Let me write. Again, I've wrote some of this stuff down because I want to make sure we stay on topic. Stay strategic. And Samuels says magazines like Cosmopolitan, Glamour, Women's Day, Vogue, Essence, and then TV shows like Oprah, The View, Ellen, even Steve Harvey, who's very, very no. Steve Harvey does nothing focused on men. Steve Harvey focuses on women because he knows that's his audience and he knows that's where his money is. And it's really interesting that Kevin Samuels says that because he talks. He's always talking about what he calls sexual marketplace value. I don't know that he coined the term or if it's something that he borrowed from somebody else, but it's so funny. Again, we can rank, and we all do this. We rank women and we rank men on a scale of 1 to 10. But Steve Harvey says, we'll get into the women's ranking later, but the men's ranking is always money. Of course, we understand that. But being a provider and taking care of the family, of course, for women, that's very important. But so many women say, I want somebody who's making more than $100,000 a year. And Samuels reminds us that that's only about 10% of American men who make more than 10 to 12% of American men. But if you say $250,000 a year, that's 3% of American men. If you say, I want a man who makes $500,000 a year, that's 1% of American men. And that's so funny. Let's see, average. And one of the things that Kevin Samuels caught so much flack over is that, and again, he had a podcast and there were always women calling into his show. And he did his show on YouTube, but he did it on Zoom so we could see who's calling. He would be on the phone with these women. And it would be, this is harsh, it's harsh. Because Kevin Samuels was very, very harsh. it would be average looking women who are overweight many times, but they say they want high value men. So this woman, average or below average, they want a high value man. And he was harsh, because he would always say women in America, they have very high expectations. Men do not have high expectations. We just want someone on our level. Number one. Number two, we want someone attractive. Yes. But American women have such high expectations for men, but for themselves, they have no expectations. They're overweight. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Wait a second. What makes you say? Oh gosh, this is even better. One of the things Samuels says is that average American women are not honest with themselves when he talks about sexual marketplace value. We have to separate men and women. And we'll get into that a little bit more in just a few minutes. But with women, you have to understand what do men want? It's not what do women want. What do men want? Samuels does such a great job of saying the first thing men want to know is your age. How old are you? The second thing, what is your weight? Do you weigh 110 pounds or do you weigh 225 pounds? That's important to men. The next thing is, how many kids do you have? Do you have 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids? Okay, whatever. Now, how many fathers? You have 4 kids with 3 different fathers. And if we keep in mind sexual marketplace value, let's go back. What's your age? Are you 22? Okay, that's good. Are you 37? Your value just went down. 37, 38, 39, your value just went down. How much do you weigh? I weigh 205 pounds. Your value just went down because you're fat. You're overweight. How many kids do you have? I have 4 kids. Your value just went down some more. How many? You have 4 kids. How many fathers? 3. Your value just went down some more. That's how men judge women. Kevin Samuels was harsh, but it's really interesting that he said that. And it's kind of hard for us Americans to stop and think about that. And wait a minute. As we go forward, please, everybody comment down below and tell me, is that right? Do you think Samuel was right? Or we're going to get into some of these other guys later. Do you think they're right? Do you think it's wrong? Is there something missing in what they say? So make sure and comment down below. Excuse me. We're going to do one more Kevin Samuels. This is one of the ones I love. Because, again, he's so harsh. What did we say? The 5 things that American men look for in a girlfriend or a wife. Are you ready? It's only 5 things. American men look for 5 things. They want a woman who's fit, mean physically fit. Physically, are you in good shape? Do you take care of yourself? American men want a woman who's fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, and submissive. Of course, as American men, we know that last one, submissive. American women just freak out. No, I'm not going to be submissive. But we're going to do that again because we're going to hear that a few times throughout this video. American men want a woman who's fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, and submissive. So keep that in the back of your head. And what he adds is that men are visual creatures. And that's one of the things that's a hurdle that women cannot get over. Men are visual creatures. We like the way you look. We like looking at you. So we want a girlfriend, a wife, or what if it's a side chick, whatever. We want somebody who looks nice. And somebody who has a nice figure. That being in shape matters. Here's some of the research I did. Let me make sure I read this and I read this correctly. In the 1960s, in the US, women were 5 feet 3 inches and they weighed 140 pounds. Today, women are 5 feet 4 inches. In the 1960s, they were 5 feet 3 inches, but today they're 5 feet 4 inches. That's because of our diet. You know, our diet has changed. We're eating different kind of food. So women have grown a little bit, one inch. But in the 1960s, the average woman was 140 pounds. Today, the average woman is 170 pounds. Is that crazy? Let's do another one. Obesity rates in America in 1950, 10% of the entire population, 10% were obese. 10%. Today, 42% of Americans are obese, overweight or obese. I found one study from the CDC, and for my overseas friends, the CDC is the United States Centers for Disease Control, and they do studies about diseases and what's ailing Americans. In America, the overweight and obese rates in America among Asians is 16%. Among whites, it's 41%. Among Hispanics, 45%. Among blacks, 50%. What? How is it that people who live in the same country have such... Let's say that again. Among Asians, it's 16%. Whites, 41%. Hispanics, 45%. Blacks, 50%. Yeah, there's something really wrong with those numbers. What's the next? National Institute of Health, NIH. This is actually really interesting to me. In America today, of American men and women, the percentage of American women who are overweight is 28%. But the percentage of men in America who are overweight is 34%. So men are more, in America, they're a little bit more, actually a good bit more overweight than American women. But that's being overweight. But if you talk about who is obese, and if you don't speak English well or you're from outside of the US, obese means gross overweight. It means being really, really overweight. In America, the percentage of men who are obese is 7%. The percentage of American women who are obese is 12%. Why are so many American women, American men and women, but my gosh, I think one of the crazy things is Kevin Samuels saying, if you took a man who is 5 feet 7 inches tall and a woman, an American man, 5'7", and an American woman, 5'7", almost always the woman is going to be heavier. Stop and think about that for a minute. You take a man who's 5'7" in America and a woman who's 5'7" in America, more than likely the woman is going to be heavier than the man. How does that even make any sense? But we wonder why American men are going overseas. And I actually put this on my notes. One of the really crazy things, Marissa has been here since August, so September, October, November. I think not quite 4 years, 4 months. One of the crazy things is the first few times Miss Marissa and I went shopping, she's pushing the grocery buggy, and she actually stopped me. She said, "My God, the women here are so big." And of course, I knew she meant they're so tall, but she also meant they're so big. The women in America are bigger than the men. As an American man, that's a difficult thing to say. And that's something that American men, Kevin Samuels, Jesse Lee Peterson, Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, that's why I started this off with saying American men and their platforms, they're starting to say some of these things. American men can't even date because we want to at least date a woman smaller than us, and we can't find one. Anyway, whatever. I think one of the things that Samuel says is a lot of younger Americans they don't remember, of course, the 1970s. We had two TV shows called American Bandstand and Soul Train. And they were actually really good movies because it just had black folks and white folks dancing to really great music. But if you go to YouTube and look up American Bandstand or Soul Train and look at those people, they're all thin. Everybody. They're all thin. They're all in good shape. Let's see. My next, the next thing I have in my notes is what in America we call fat, F-A-T, fat shaming. Two of my favorite comedians, Bill Burr and Andrew Tate and Bill Burr. I'm going to talk about Dave Chappelle in a minute, but Andrew Tate and Bill Burr both say that one of the problems in America is that we do not fat shame people anymore. When you see somebody who's fat, you should tell them they're fat. Because I can't remember who it was, some comedian said, if you have a sister and your sister is in the middle of the street and she's an alcoholic, right? She drinks too much. And she's in the middle of the street throwing up in public. You don't say, you go, girl. I know you're strong. You just keep on going. You just living your best life. You say, no, get up off you're a drunk. You're throwing up in the middle of the street in public. You're embarrassing yourself and you're embarrassing me because you're my sister. But if somebody's fat, we don't say that. But we know if you're 120 pounds overweight, that's unhealthy. It's unhealthy. No, not much different than being an alcoholic. You got this sister or brother over here throwing up in the street. Huh, get up off the street. We gotta clean you out. But this one over here is eating chocolate cake. And you say, you're living your best life. You go, girl. That's nuts to me. But why do we say, whatever. I can't remember who said that. I said unhealthy lap. Bill Burr. I put on here Bill Burr, the reference between fat shaming and being an alcoholic and telling women, oh gosh, most of us are on social media. If you're on Facebook or Twitter or TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and you see some big girl post a photo of herself on the beach, and all these women say, oh, you're so beautiful. And guys, come on. We look at those photos and go, whoa. But all these women say, oh, you look so, I love that suit. That dress looks so good on you. Yeah, even if you're a good-looking woman, go into the bedroom and come out and say, how does this dress look on me? You know what? I'm going to tell you. No, that makes your butt look big. No. I know we're going out, but you're not going to wear that. No. I don't care. Because I want you to do the same thing to me. Right? Crazy. And it is a shame because here's one of the huge differences. And everybody, please comment down below and tell me what you think. Hang on, we're gonna do a video. We got to drink some whiskey. Comment down below and let me know what points are spot on, what points you disagree with, and why you disagree. All right, let's move to the next thing. Shucks. One of the hard things for us to accept that some of these guys, Samuels, Jordan Peterson, Jesse Lee Peterson, Andrew Tate, one of the things that these male influencers, and that's why I'm so glad that there's so many on social media now, and they're becoming more prominent. One of the prominent things they are pointing out, and this is going to be hard for some folks, when women age, their sexual marketplace value goes down. When you're 18 to 25, your sexual marketplace value is up here. And we don't want to say it, but one of my things is when I see 40 and 40-year-old women dressing like women who are 22, I'm not even going to go much further than that. But seeing a woman in her 40s dress like she's 22 or 23 years old just blows my mind. Because I want to say, you know what, honey, you're 45 years old. Men your age, 45, 50, you know what women they are chasing? You know, these men, do you know what women they are chasing? They're chasing the 22-year-olds. And here's why. When you're 22 or 23 or 24, as a female, your sexual marketplace value is very high. When you're 30, it goes way down. 35, way down. 40, way down. It just keeps going down. But for men, if you're a man and you're 22, your sexual marketplace value is down here. You know why? You don't have anything. You haven't acquired any wealth. You haven't established yourself. But when you're 30, when you're 35, when you're 45, women see that you're establishing yourself and you're getting more and more and more stuff, right? Becoming more prominent. That's what's important to women. That you're more prominent. You can provide. For men, it sucks, I guess, but the truth is, for men, we want beauty. We don't care how much money you make. We want beauty. Anyway, again, comment down below. Let's skip past this so we can. Too freaking funny. All right, we said fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive. Let's get through this. Feminine. When you see big women in America, what do you think? Do you think feminine or do you think masculine? Because let's be honest, at least in America, when you see someone who's big, we associate that with being masculine. So if you're a big woman, what do you think men see when they see you? Do you think they see a feminine woman? No, they see a man. Because you look masculine. You don't look like a woman. You're this big, right? Yeah, we associate a big stature, a big frame. We associate that with masculinity. I think we're going to wrap this up, but we're going to do one more thing. A couple of these guys have pointed this out. One of the things with American women, and I'm even going to say Miss Marissa noticed this, just being in America a few days, which was really crazy to me. And to be honest, as an American, it's kind of embarrassing. I'm going to say that again. It was a little bit embarrassing. Marissa was only here a few days, and one of the first things she noticed was this, eyelashes. And she would say, my God, look at those eyelashes. And I have a couple of notes here. Fingernails that look like this, long fingernail. That's another thing she did. Look at her. Like we were at the grocery store or gas station or something, and some girl's going, because she can't even type on the cash register because her fingernails are this long. Earrings that look like, literally, that look like this. Big, huge earrings. And of course I think that already, but I've spent years and years and years watching that, and we, as American men, we sort of just dismiss it, and we don't like it. And if I meet you, if you're a woman and you have earrings like this, I'll be nice. I'll say hello. I'll say yes, ma'am. But that's all you get from me. This, here's your eyelashes. Here's your earrings. Your fingernails. Here's your earrings. What's another one? You know, in America, we have an expression where we say her makeup is caked on. Cake, like C-A-K-E, caked on. It's because you look like a rodeo clown. You look like a circus clown. You have so much makeup on. When they overdo the blue, something, whatever. Lipstick, of course, in Philippines, I'm going to say kilay. Kilay means eyelashes. Of course, Filipinos always do their kilay. That's a focus of theirs. And they will do some lipstick. But that's it. And the crazy part about that is that men love a natural look. No, let me rephrase that. American men love a natural look. When you have makeup like this, and eyelashes, long nails, big, huge earrings, that's disgusting. What's another one? I actually put, this is my favorite. Neon hair. In other countries, I understand other countries want to try to emulate American culture, and I know that. But they don't understand, in America, like celebrities that you see in movies or the Grammys or whatever, those are not real Americans. They are entertainers or basketball players or rappers. No, those are not normal Americans. They're entertainers, and we in America, we laugh at them. Not all of us, but most of us laugh at them. In America, when you see a girl who has neon hair, that's probably one of my biggest pet peeves. Some chick who has pink and green and blue and purple hair, if I get on an elevator, I'm probably not even gonna hold the elevator door open for her. I don't even want to be on the elevator. In fact, if she comes on the elevator, I'm probably gonna get off. That's how bad it is. And again, comment down below if you agree or disagree. Because I think that there's a lot of interesting points we're making here from an American's perspective. And I want to reiterate about this. I'm talking about American men and American women. I'm not talking about anybody else in the Philippines, Russia, UK, China, Korea, Canada. I'm talking about in America. This is how we view things. How many of us view things in America. So comment down below and let me know what you think, if you agree or disagree. I've got so many more notes here. I'm gonna have to make I think I'm only halfway through my notes. So we will do another video later. Again, I said 10 times, comment down below, because I want to hear what did I miss? Is there something that I said is wrong, or is there some more information you can add, or yeah, please comment down below and let me know, just so we can so everybody can see your comments. All right, folks, nieces and nephews, it's Tito Keith. I'm gonna sign off.